have the Telonics Combo for steel guitar and jazz guitar, the TCA-500, and this particular unit has got a TC Electronic G Major 2 fitted. And in this video we're just going to run through basically how to use the G Major 2 with the combo. First thing I'd say is that when you turn the combo on and off, always put the mute switch on before you disconnect and apply power. That way you shouldn't have any clicks and bangs coming out of the combo, because with certain reverb patches you only need a tiny input and the reverb creates a sort of quite a big sort of whoosh of sound. So always keep it muted and you won't have any problems. Check that the dry wet fader is in the 12 o'clock position and the input and output level on the G Major 2 should be in the 12 o'clock position. Now, I should just say that the reverbs that we've set up here work in parallel mode, so the dry signal remains, or the straight through signal remains within the combo and goes straight through, and the affected signal goes through the effects and then gets summed in with your dry signal that's running through the combo. We feel that that's important so you don't get any latency in your dry or unaffected signal. It seems to make your sound a little bit more immediate. There's a niceness to having that immediateness to your sound. But there's lots of people also use modeling amplifiers and they get on fine with them, and if it works for them, that's great. Now, we've set up some patches which can be changed. This control here, if you rotate that, so if we come on to, this is a sort of a John Huey reverb, you rotate that and then give it a press and the sound is selected. So if I move that back up here, we come to sort of a curly chalker sound, the number flashes, you give it a press and the sound is selected. And it really is as simple as that. So you know, you can select, I've got a Hawaiian sound there, you can select that. We've set about 20 patches up here which just generally reflect players' styles and the types of reverb that they would perhaps use. But it's all early days really, you know, and we're still working and developing patches. But I have to say, really pleased with the G Major 2. The reverb qualities are superb and there's a great deal of flexibility for being able to set up the reverb to your flavour or the type that you like. That's about it really. It's as simple as that. Now if you want to create your own reverb, it's easy enough to do. What I'll do is I'll just quickly show you how to store. So if we take Buddy's reverb there, okay, sorry, go back. Oh, come on. If I hit the store button, that flashes, and I can move that, move this knob here up to the 24 position, which actually at the moment is an empty preset. Hit store and then hit store again, and that's now stored the Buddy Emmons patch on patch 24. Okay, and if I want to edit that, I can do. And if you look, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little LED lit there and a little LED lit there. That indicates for that patch I'm using booth delay and reverb. And if I want to edit that delay or that reverb, I just give that button a couple of quick clicks. Yeah. In fact, because I didn't click it quick enough, it's actually turned off the effect. So I need to do that to turn the effect back on. And if I actually step through that, I can change the delay. Okay, if I come through there, there's the mix. And what's actually happening in this particular effect is hitting that first, so we're getting just 20% delay, and the other 80% would be a dry signal that's fed to the reverb. And if I now go on to the reverb, See, we've got a Hall reverb there, about 2.8 milliseconds, and when I come through to this, one of the things you'll notice that we've got 100% mix there. This is something you need to watch out for when you're creating patches. You need to always ensure that when you turn your dry wet fader to wet there, you are just getting affected sound. What you don't want any straight through sound. Okay, now I'm going to see if this, I'll just turn down the master level here, and hopefully I've got this connected up. If I turn on the power amplifier, now if I give this a little, so if I go here, you can hear there's just the dry signal, the straight through signal. Go around to here, and you can hear there's just the affected signal. Now if I was to turn this, the mix control, you can hear down, I'm getting unaffected signal as well there. Now you don't want that. You want to keep that so that when you've got the dry wet fade around onto 100% wet, you're just getting that affected signal. Because if you allow the straight through signal through the effect unit to mix with the straight through effect signal through the amp, the two mix together, and in fact, because this has got a slight latency or delay, you get a kind of chorus effect to your sound. But actually you don't want that, because in a performance situation you find that can mess with your sound. So always ensure that when you set up an effect patch, it is just effect when you're using parallel mode. Obviously if we were using series mode, you would want the very thing we've described, you know, you'd want to put some of the dry signal in there. But that's it, that's basically the G major 2. Now there is just one thing I would mention. You need to watch out, if you hit the recall button, you can always come back to your patch, which is a handy thing. So if you're in a performance and you say hit this knob, which takes you through a peculiar menu, hit that button and you'll always come back to your patch. And the other thing, you need to just watch out that when you're turning this and you're selecting a patch, you don't just catch this button, I think it's that one there, that's it, that top one, that takes you through, and if I hit that, I'm through now onto the factory presets. And you think, oh my goodness, where my sounds are gone, all the patches have disappeared. Well, that's because you've gone through onto the factory presets, which are really for guitarists and that. So but if you hit this bottom button, that will take you back onto the user patches, and then hit the select, you'll be back onto the user patches. And in fact, on the user patches, if you go below one, you fall onto the factory ones. But just watch out for that, because you can sometimes get onto your factory settings and lose yourself at a gig. But again, the key thing to remember here is if you hit that recall, that will take you back onto your patch, and if you use this up and down key here and then press enter, you'll always come back onto patch 1 there. And that's the G major 2. Superb reverbs, superb for steel guitar, and works nicely with the combo.